Now, Singularity University seems to be very interested in medical work. In fact, among all the startup companies, a lot of them are concerned with medical issues. In our next roll-in, we're going to talk to some of the people in some of those companies. Let's go ahead and roll that tape. Beth Suzanne is a pitch coach at Singularity University. She teaches the students how to pitch their ideas to potential clients and investors.
So basically, there's 6 things that they need to focus on. There's the problem or the opportunity. You have to talk about what your solution is and what's innovative about it. Then you talk about how viable is the market, and you talk about who else is in your space, what's the competition like, and you talk about your business model and your team.
Do you have to understand the technology yourself in order to figure out how to pitch it?
Absolutely not. What I need to know is basically what's the essence of their idea, and they have to be able to explain it to their mothers or their grandmothers. It has to be clear for their mothers or their grandmothers to understand. Here at Singularity University, it's about making sure they focus on the exponential impact of the idea and how many people can it reach 1 billion people in 10 years. So there's a different focus, and it's really, really exciting. It's wonderful to be able to just focus on the exchange of fabulous ideas with fabulous people that have, a huge desire to have an enormous impact in the world for good.
One of the student startup companies is called Paired. They're developing a smart hearing aid for older people called Bridgie that can not only monitor your health, but also jog your memory when necessary. How does it monitor your health? What data does it receive to enable it to monitor your health?
So we use smart sensors, including thermometer, gyroscope, accelerometer, as well as a pulse oximeter to get your heart rate and your oxygen levels in your blood.
Now, I understand that the device can also be used as a memory aid. How does that work?
Bridgie picks up little moments of your life as you walk throughout your day, the people you meet, the voices, and has an ability to intelligently understand those and remind you of the right context at the right time. So say if you meet someone across the room, you've met them already before, but you can't remember their name, when they say hello, Bridgie picks up the voice and lets you know what their name is. It can also remind you of different medication you might have to take, it can remind you of directions or location depending on where you are, calendar reminders, etc., etc.
Another student startup is called Treedome. They're developing ways to turn construction cranes into 3D printers and print multi-story buildings out of recycled materials.
Actually, we're going to attach a robotic arm or a 3D printer right in the arm of the crane, so we don't have limitations of the frames. Not in the X, not in the Y. The only limitation is going to be in the Z-axis by the height of the crane. The first material we're going to start with is recycled concrete.
So 2 things to differentiate. One is we're not talking about fresh concrete, as in virgin concrete, because that has a very negative footprint on Earth. We're talking about recycled concrete. And the second point is that it's going to be extruded from the printer in a paste-like material that can be then curated. Depending on the material and depending on the geographical location, that'll determine the curation process.
Now, when you build a house, there are many elements to it. The framework is made of concrete, perhaps. The floors are made of wood. The windows are made of glass. Does your 3D printer just assemble the framework of the house, or does it do the details as well?
So the first challenge actually is not even the walls, it's the foundations. So you have to work in the foundations first so you can build the walls. And this is going to be made of concrete. Almost 30% of the cost of the construction is spent on foundations. So that's why foundations are so important. And the second point is you can also print basic furniture and plumbing.
Another student startup is Bsense. They're developing smart menstrual pads for women that contain tiny sensors that do an instant analysis of the menstrual blood.
So what we're doing is that we are creating a revolutionary smart pad. So we're putting microfluidic chips into pads that women use every month when they have their period. And then, as you do normally, you put it in your underwear, and once you bleed, it basically analyzes this blood from infections and vitamins and mineral levels. So that's how it works.
And when it senses that information, what does it do with that information? Where does the information go?
So there is a small antenna inside of it that transmits the information to the user's smartphone. So it's presented in a mobile application where she can see her values and she can take action based on numbers.
We're working on a prototype. We have some examples of microfluidic chips that can detect different things, for example, chlamydia. We have not made the pad yet, but since we're only 3 weeks in, we are very early stage, and we're looking forward to building the first real smart pad and bringing it to the world.
So what is really the most important thing? What is the message you really want to get across here?
Well, to the women, we just want to say we are giving your vagina a voice, period.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That always gets a good laugh. Does Singularity University have any competitors, or are there other people doing similar things? I know there are other technology incubators, but this looks like a kind of unique approach.
Yeah, well, while we have a Singularity U Labs as a component where some of these companies can come and incubate and grow, our real focus is, again, around these exponential technologies and these global challenges. So we're not trying to be a Y Combinator or some of these other models. We're also very international. We've had programs around the world, whether it's in South America, in Budapest, in the Netherlands coming up as a summit. I'm chairing this exponential medicine program in November. We've had ones around exponential finance. So it's not like any other academic institution. And we not only try and educate and inspire, but enable our graduates and our whole global community to then act on these new ideas and new thinkings to impact the world.
Who supports it? Does it make a profit based on any of the new companies that are started there?
Well, it's still early days. None of the companies yet have, well, some are, I think, making money, but eventually some of that may flow back to help support the university. We've had major corporate sponsors that help get Singularity University off the ground, like Google and Autodesk and Cisco. Larry Page, the co-founder of Google, has been at several of our programs, and I think part of his thinking is aligned with, very few people on the planet are really trying to address big challenges, and I think that's why companies like Google supported and support Singularity University and its students.
How do you see the future of Singularity University? Keep doing the same, or you think it'll go in a new direction?
Well, we're still a startup. We're 5 or 6 years old, but I think we strive to have global impact both as an educational institution and impacting new companies and new thinking. So beyond just having programs here on our home base, we're building out a sort of online presence so other folks can join us, so we can scale in certain ways. We like to think of ourselves as an exponential organization that is going to grow and leverage some of the technologies that we help integrate and learn about.
Now, you teach a lot there. Do you also feel that you learn a lot by being there?
Absolutely. So I'm a physician. I like to innovate myself. I've got a couple startup companies in the medical device space and the medical application space. Healthcare IT is a really vibrant area. There's many new folks who bring beginner's mind into the healthcare realm. Many of those are exponential technologies, built into our sensors, into our clothes. This Internet of Things, the Internet of the body, is shifting how we're going to do health and medicine. And for my role, chairing the medicine track, it's been a really great privilege, and it's been terrific to help excite others to also contribute to the future of health and medicine and beyond.
Well, it sounds great, and I wish you all the best of luck. And I've just gotten the signal, so we're just about out of time, so we're going to have to close the show. I've been speaking with Daniel Kraft, MD, chairman of the medical track of Singularity University, also renowned for quite a few other things, which I mentioned earlier. Thank you for watching. I'm Marty Wasserman. Visit our website, www.futuretalk.net. For Future Talk, we'll see you next time.